How to get 10,000 followers in 90 days on TikTok. That is the creator's dream when you first come onto the TikTok platform. Well, actually, most people want to get 1,000 followers. But in this video, we are going to talk about how to get to 10,000 followers in 90 days. Now, more than likely, you can do this a lot faster than 90 days, but I do want to set the expectation. I had a client of mine who got 80,000 followers in 3 days, and another client who got 14,000 followers in 24 hours. And I got 47,000 followers in 7 days. So you can definitely do it. Welcome to the Kia Kelly podcast, because that's me. Every single week, we will be here talking about business, marketing your business, as well as life and anything that can throw at us. Because one thing I know is that when I've been building my business, I am involved in my business. And so I like to help people understand what it all is going to take to build a successful business and have a balanced life. And so here on the podcast, some of the days you're going to absolutely love me. And then other days you're going to want to throw me away with the trash because you don't want to be bothered with me. But either way, you're going to get your whole life together when you're here on this podcast. So I encourage you to grab your tea and grab your coffee because the Kia Kelly podcast is here. So of course, I am Kia Kelly here on this channel. I teach you about all things video marketing, marketing your business, and having a balanced life. If you know that you want to be able to build a business, make money online, and get strategies for marketing, be sure to subscribe to this channel because we have new videos that come out twice a week, every single week here on this channel. So if you're brand new to me, I've been on TikTok for the last 4 years. We've got about 500,000 followers on TikTok. And because of it, we've made over $2 million in our business, and we've helped our clients make even more than us. So I'm telling you kind of from a personal experience and not just from theory. Okay. So the dream is to be able to get to 10,000 followers. And so I want to teach you how to do it. I do have 12 different tips to help you to be able to do that. One of them is like super clutch. It is one that a lot of people don't really utilize because of fear or whatever. And so make sure you stay all the way to the end of the video. But of course, we do have the timestamps that are here in the description. And so if you've got to go along, then you can go along by just following the timestamps. Okay. So I do have my notes on screens. If you see me kind of look at my screen, that's me making sure that I remember my points. Okay. All right. So first things first, if you are gonna get 10,000 followers in 90 days, you have to define a niche. Okay. So when I say defining a niche, that means that you got to decide what is your account going to be about. Okay, you have to decide what is your account about, because even though your goal is to get 10,000 followers in 90 days, you still have people, like real human beings on the other side of that phone that have to choose to click the follow button. And it's really important to understand the way of human behavior, the way that we think. So I want you to put yourself in the shoes of your viewer. Don't look at it as your account, but you are in the shoes of your viewer. If you are scrolling on TikTok today, what is going to cause you to follow someone's account? Not about you, not about your account, but if you're scrolling and you're watching content of other creators, what is going to cause you to follow that account? The reason we choose to follow an account is because not just that we saw one video and we loved that one video. It is because we watched that one video, we went to that creator's profile, and we went to see what is this creator about, and do I want to see this creator every single day? Because the people who we follow on TikTok, we're going to start seeing more of their content on a regular basis. So you have to put yourself in the shoes of the viewer. So that is why you have to define a niche. So that's why sometimes, like for me, example, I have 2 accounts on TikTok. One is a business and video marketing strategies, and another one is just the life of Kia Kelly as an entrepreneur. I don't teach business. I don't do any of that stuff on that second account. Okay. So if anybody who wants to know the life of Kia Kelly, I talk about relationships, I talk about being over 40, things of that nature. Keith Lee. We all know Keith Lee is a food reviewer, right? And so we know that if we choose to follow Keith, we are going to see him eating food in his car, okay? And that's what we can expect for Keith. We know he will talk about shoes sometimes, his family, but most times his content is all around shoes. Whether you like her or not, Michaela's content is always revolved around makeup, okay? And so when people choose to follow her account, it's because they want to see her makeup things all day, every day, okay? So it's really important for you to identify what is it you're going to be creating content about. That doesn't mean you can only create content around this, but it does mean that it all falls within a niche of things, because the person on the other side of the camera, of the phone, like, it's them. They get to choose that they want to see you all the time. So you have to define your niche. The second thing you need to do is you have to start creating valuable content in that niche to a particular audience, okay? So I currently am 42 years old. I know I look 21, but I'm 42 years old. And typically my content does not resonate with someone that is a teenager or that's in their 20s, because I'm not trying to reach them. I'm trying to reach someone in their 30s and up, okay? Like middle 30s, upper 30s and up, okay? So everything that I'm talking about, everything that I'm saying, the words that I'm using, the slang, the humor, and all that stuff is geared towards people that are 30s and up, including with my business content. So my main account has 500,000 followers. It's video marketing, social media strategy. I am mainly talking to people that have a business. I'm not talking to influencers and creators, not because I don't like them. It's because my business is, I'm a strategist, I'm a consultant for businesses. So I create content for those people, okay? My other account, which has 5,000 followers, which is fairly brand new, is still talking to people in their 30s, but it's not to businesses. It's to regular people, okay? I hope that makes sense. So when I am creating content for the business account or for the personal account, I'm creating it in my particular niche for a specific audience, okay? So I have some videos where on my new account where I'm stitching relationship videos and I'm giving my commentary on relationships. And so I am creating valuable content that particular audience would be interested in watching and receiving from me. So if you are a comedian, then great, do comedy. That's awesome. If you are in makeup or fashion or hair or beauty, whatever it is, that is great. But you have to make sure that you're creating content that your audience finds valuable. Now, here's the deal. You may not know what that looks like. When you first get started, you're maybe like, well, what does value content look like? Well, one of the biggest, smartest, most strategic things you can do is go and find other creators. Okay, so if you are wanting to create comedy or content around, let's just say makeup, hair, beauty, or whatever, go and look at some of the most popular creators on the platform that are targeting your audience. And meaning you're watching their videos, you're seeing their comments, you can tell who is engaging in their comment section or who's following them, right? Take a look at the type of content that they are creating and come up with a framework. Come up with this is what they're always talking about. These 10 things, these 20 things. Or then you go and look at some of their top performing videos. That's going to give you lots of great clues of the type of content to create and the value that people find in their content. You know what I mean? That's like Keith. The value people find in his content is that Keith is often helping struggling businesses, right? So people that have this heart that they love food, but they want to see the success story of Keith enjoying someone's food and it completely changing that business's life are drawn to that content, okay? So it's important for you to know, to be creating content that is valuable for your audience, but you won't know what that is until you see on the platform what they're already responding to and until you actually start creating content. Now, I know that the tendency is to be like, well, I don't want my content to bomb. It's gonna bomb. That's just the name of the beast. It's just the way that it goes, right? But the more quickly you get content content out and you can see what is working well, then you can double down on the content that is working extremely well. Does that make sense? Because ultimately you're trying to get 90 days, 10,000 people to hit follow. And the only way to get that is you've got to convince 10,000 people to like you. You have to convince 10,000 people to want more from you. And that's not hard, like by any means. Like it is not hard by any means. It may just seem that way initially when I say it, but if you follow these 12 steps like today or tomorrow, then you're going to be well on your way to doing that, because none of this is hard. You're already creating content. You're already talking to somebody. You're already binge watching other people on TikTok. Now you can binge watch and create and talk to your people, kind of like that. The third thing you want to do to get to 10,000 followers in 90 days is jump on trends early. Okay. Jump on trends early. I have seen this myself. One of the trends I jumped on early, like a year or so ago, I jumped on it really early and I took advantage of it. And then I got 47,000 new followers in a week because of that one particular video. Okay. So we all know that on TikTok, trends start all the time. But if you are someone that is constantly consuming content on TikTok, when you see something, when you hear something, you already know what a trend is going to be. But also, you can follow accounts like mine and others that announce trends, okay? And so when they announce a trend, jump on those trends. So follow the different accounts of people that announce trends, because you don't have to go and search out these trends, because they're automatically going to be on your feed of the people that are announcing trends. And when you jump on them early, what happens is that here's your video and here's all the videos that comes behind you using that sound, where it's going to push your video through the feed, because all these people that start using the trend, well, they've told TikTok, I want to see more stuff with this sound. And then now your video is already there utilizing that trend. And then your content is going to get pushed out to even more people. The fourth thing you want to do to get to 10,000 followers in 90 days is respond to all of your comments. Now, that can be really challenging if you go viral. I get it. I totally get it. But here is what I have learned, that if somebody comments on your video and you comment back to them and you invite them to follow you after commenting, more than likely that person is they're going to hit follow, because they said something, they asked something, you engaged with them, and then you said, would you mind following me? Guess what happens? They go, sure. Right? And it's like an instant, like, oh yeah, sure. Right? And so do it. You know what I mean? What you can do is once a day or twice a day, you can click on your notifications and then click on all activity and then just hit comments. And then you can respond to all the comments. Now, a faster way is to actually do this on your desktop. Okay. Because it's just super easy to be able to do it a lot faster on desktop. And that's a super easy way to comment back to people, make people believe that you are engaging with them, because you are. And then you invite them to take the action with you, because it's just like, one of the things is that we're all used to being told what to do. And so when you tell people, follow me, if they really want to, they will. Because sometimes they're just not thinking about it. They're just not thinking about hitting follow. It just doesn't cross their minds. And so they don't do it. But when you say follow, then it's like, I got an instruction. And if they want to follow, guess what they will do? They're going to hit follow. The fifth thing you want to do, which is crucial right now on TikTok, is record longer videos. So we all know that right now on the TikTok platform that they are pushing for longer content. Okay. So we know there's a creativity program. If you record a video over 1 minute, you are going to get the opportunity of being able to be compensated per 1,000 views, but also they're just pushing out more longer content. And so if that is the case, and that is what TikTok wants, then if they're going to push your video out even the more, and you're being very strategic with everything else that I said, then now you're giving yourself an opportunity to reach more people. And so once you're given that call to action, once you're commenting back to them, now you are able to gain more followers. Because I think that what people believe is that still, if we do all these looping videos, if the videos are 5 seconds, 5 sevens or 7 seconds long, that's going to help us grow our account. No, that may help us get more views, but views and follows are two totally different things, because somebody can watch and take zero action. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the views and the action. And TikTok is saying we will help you get more views if you will create longer content. So go for the longer content with like storytelling and things of that nature, and then give people those calls to action. So you can give the TikTok platform what it wants, and then you can give the viewer what they want, and then you can get what you want, which is the follow. When it comes to using short form video marketing to market your business online, I guarantee you that if you are brand new to it, then you either are confused by it or you are just overwhelmed, the same way that I was 3 years ago when I first got onto the TikTok platform. But I am so grateful that I didn't stay confused, but I chose to learn. And because of that, I am hosting a 3-day short form video challenge where I'm going to be teaching you not only how to use short form video to generate leads and sales to your business, but also making sure that you have some sort of a funnel set up, because when you really learn short form video, you're going to start going viral like crazy all the time on different platforms, and you're going to want to know the basics of getting your first funnel together. So in this 3-day challenge, I'm going to help you with your funnel, teach you about short form video marketing, and teach you strategies on how to make sales for your business. And so if you want to learn how to do this, you just want to go to KenyAKelly.com/challenge, KenyAKelly.com/challenge, and you are going to spend 3 whole days with me, 1 hour every single night, and I'm not going to hold anything back, giving you exactly what you need to have success using short form video. The 6th thing you want to do is you want to pay very close attention to your hooks. Listen, I cannot say this enough. You have got to be extremely intentional with your hooks, okay? Because remember, you are trying to get people to stop and watch your video and then take the action of follow you. Remember, we're talking about humans. So you have got to connect with them and get them to hit the follow button, okay? So one of the things to understand is that because of social media and us being on our devices, we are scrolling away faster than ever. Like the average attention span of a person is 8 seconds. It's mad. I teach a lot at conferences, and one of the things that I will do is I'll say, guys, I'm going to count to 8. Tell me where I lost you. And I will just start commenting 1. And I'll make a joke. I'll say, because somebody will be in the room looking at their phone before I ever say 1, and I'll point them out. It's like one of the funniest moments of my time. And I always say, tell me where I lost you. Raise your hand when I lost you. Most people, I lose them at 4, right? But I'm also standing there in the room. They are trying to not get distracted because of the assignment. But think about your own behavior. When you are scrolling on TikTok, how many seconds do you give the average video? Just be honest. Literally, just be honest. Okay, I'll give you an example. Right now, I am recording this video here on my camera, but TikTok is on my phone live. And so I'm looking here at the camera on TikTok. When you think about being on, and y'all watching me on YouTube, I'm talking to TikTok right now. How quickly do you typically scroll away from people on the For You page? So there's 27 people that are live with me right now on TikTok. Y'all tell me, how many seconds do you usually give a video before you scroll? Okay. Me, it's usually about 1.5 seconds. So far here in the chat, I've gotten 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Who else here? Y'all tell me, how many seconds do you typically give a video before you scroll away? I guarantee you, most people are going to say between 1 to 3 seconds, right? Anybody else? Okay. So the thing, 4 seconds. If 4 seconds, if good, 2 seconds. Okay. So here's the deal. You have got to be very strategic and intentional with the first 1 to 2 seconds of your video. That is called the hook. Now, let's talk about this because, again, the goal is to get people to watch and follow. So you've got to even get them to stop and watch your video. So when I think about the hooks, there's a couple different things that can be a hook. First is the environment, right? So the moment that they land on your video, what is happening in that very first frame? Right? We've all seen the one where someone is falling off in a chair and they're like, oh my God, what's happening? Or they see an animal in the air, or they see a fire on the stove. And that's the hook. That's the thing that causes a person to stop to go, uh-oh, what's happening here? Or we see somebody on top of a table and we're like, we know this is going to end bad. We don't know exactly how it's going to end, but we think that person is going to fall. And so we watch to see the fall, right? So for you, you've got to be very intentional with that opening of the frame. What is happening in that opening frame? Second thing, your hook is, what's the first words that come out of your mouth? Right? So one of my most popular videos on TikTok right now is how to go live on TikTok. The opening frame says you don't need 1,000 followers to go live. That is the opening frame on TikTok. And that video is the #1 video when you go to search how to go live on TikTok, right? Because the opening frame, okay? But it's also going to be the text on screen. So it's what you say, but also the text on screen. Because for that video, I say it, but then I also have the text on screen, okay? That's why sometimes you will see those videos that'll say incoming stitch incoming, because they're trying to tell you, I want you to see this and I've got something to say about it, or I'm going to do something about it after I stitch this video, okay? Because if you're trying to get to 10,000 followers in 90 days, you've got to get people to watch your content, okay? And you got to get them to stop, watch, and want more, all right? So you want to be very strategic and intentional with your hooks. Another thing you want to do is you want to be very strategic with your content. So there's a creator I follow, and oftentimes when she is teaching, instead of her just having like a regular mic or what have you, like I have a wireless mic here. I'll show it to you. Let me pull it up real quick. I have a wireless mic here. So sometimes what'll happen is that she'll have her wireless mic sitting here, which is not out of the norm. But one of the strategic things that I've seen people do is they will have random things as microphones. I saw someone using a hairbrush, pretending like that was a microphone. I have one of those things here where it'll follow your phone around. You can pretend like this is a microphone. You can have just something totally random. Like another thing, let me see. I have my computer mouse that's here. I can act like that's a microphone. And it may sound crazy or what have you, but it's just strategic. You're just trying to get people to go, what is that? Why you're doing that, okay? Because one thing that happens is that once you get people to stop and watch a video and they all start engaging with the video, guess what? Now you're getting more traction. Now you're getting more views and comments and all that on the platform to now continuing pushing your video through, okay? But also what happens is that if you strategically do these little like clickbait things, so to speak, in your video, if all these people start commenting, guess what happens? The same thing I said earlier. Now you can go back and comment back to all of those people that commented on your videos, and you can say, hey, follow me. Right? Because here's the deal. It's awesome to get 100,000 views, but wouldn't you rather have 100,000 of them follow you or 100,000 of them comment? Because if they all comment, now you have the opportunity to ask them to follow. But if all they did was watch the video, you have no control over being able to continue that conversation, okay? So you want to have these like strategic things that's going to cause people to engage. One of my friends, he will misspell words intentionally in his, like the top of his video, and people will do everything that they can to comment correcting him on his spelling. And so that gives him more engagement. Now he can go back to all those people and invite them to follow. I mean, it's strategic, and that's one of the ways you're going to be able to do it. Another thing you want to do is try to do videos that are over 3 minutes. Now, I know that can seem insane, you know, because most of us are so used to like 15-second videos on TikTok TikTok, but we know right now you can upload videos up to 30 minutes on TikTok, and you can shoot up to, with my phone, you can shoot up to 10 minutes on TikTok, but you can upload up to 30 minutes. And so because TikTok wants longer content, if you can shoot to get people there for at least 3 minutes, right? Then that's crazy watch time. That's way crazy view duration for what TikTok wants, okay? And then you have these amazing moments on the inside of the video where you could have stickers popping up that's pointing to the follow sign where it's saying follow for more. And so if you've got this amazing story and people are engaging with that story, and now this sticker is popping up, because stickers are free on TikTok, that says follow, then while they are hooked into your story and that sticker just popped up, guess what happens? They're more likely just hit the follow button because they are drawn into your story watching you. And it's like really quick. They can hit follow on that video because now the sticker is coming up multiple times telling them what to do. Okay, so we're getting down to the end. One of the next things you're going to want to do is you want to pay very close attention to your hashtags, okay? I recommend you use 5 to 10 hashtags because, look, listen, you are able to do over 4,400 characters in your TikTok description now, which means that they want you to pay close attention to SEO and all that. But the way that I use hashtags is a couple things. One, I use hashtags to talk about what my video is about. So if it's content marketing or how to grow on TikTok, I'm using those hashtags. Then I use hashtags trying to reach my ideal client. Because remember, we talked about you having a niche and the ideal audience that you want to reach. So for example, obviously I'm Black, there's a Black TikTok. I'm Christian, there's Christian TikTok. There is divorce talk, I'm divorced, and I can use those different hashtags when I'm trying to reach certain people. And so whomever it is you're trying to reach with your content that you believe would be interested in that content, then you want to use hashtags to reach those people. Because when you use particular hashtags on TikTok, it sends that video to anyone that has engaged with content around that hashtag, someone that has used that hashtag. So if you're trying to draw the right people that will be interested in your content, pay very close attention to your hashtags. Okay, so we're on to the last 2 tips. And so one of the last things you're going to want to do is tell people to follow. I know that sounds really simple, but the truth is that we don't tell people enough to follow us. Okay, we don't write text on screen enough and say, follow us. We don't use the stickers enough to say, follow us. I guarantee you that some of the people that have grown the fastest is they have said, follow me, right? A lot of times when I am on live stream on TikTok, I will say, follow me, because I know some people have watched me on TikTok live because they saw me on the For You page. And the only way for them to follow me is they can choose to just click the follow button. But I also can say, follow me. So I'm live right now. There's 70 people here. If you guys are not following me, please follow me. And you can say that. And I guarantee you, I'll get at least one person that's in the stream to hit follow. Why? Because they enjoyed the content that they saw. Same thing goes for you. Because if you want to get to 10,000 followers in 90 days, you've got to be intentional. You can't just hope you get 10,000 followers. This is about strategy. This is about intentionally, you've got a deadline. You've got an amount of followers you want to get. You have to be very strategic and be very intentional, and you will hit that. Okay, so I know we talked a lot about how to get to 10,000 followers in 90 days. This last one is clutch. Okay, this last one is clutch. And so if you have not followed us here on the YouTube channel, be sure to hit subscribe. We have a new video come out all the time. And if you're listening on the podcast and you haven't hit subscribe to the podcast, please hit subscribe. So my last and final one that I do all the time is go live daily. Go live daily, because here is one of the biggest things that happens on TikTok all the time. What I will typically do is I will post a video on TikTok before going live, okay? And then what I will do, I will then go live for about 30 minutes to an hour, okay? And what happens is that my video that is live is on the FYP. My other video that I just posted is also on the FYP because they're posting them at the exact same time. What typically happens is that video that I just posted gets a boost because of my live stream. Okay. One time I did this and I was live for 2 hours. I had TikTok filming me while I was being interviewed, and I was on an interview for 2 hours. By the time I had gotten off that interview, I had gained 10,000 followers. And then over the next couple of days, it was like 20,000 plus more people that followed me because that video just exploded because of me going live and then staying there for an extended period of time. Now, sometimes people will say, well, what am I going to talk about? Well, you do have to have a topic. You do have to have a reason why people would even come into your live stream and why they would stay. So my encouragement is to watch some of the good live streamers, some people that are teaching, talking, playing music, engaging, or whatever, doing quizzes, whatever. You want to go live because it is just a really great way. So I want to see if I got a TikTok video. So I posted a TikTok video. Let's see, I'm pulling it up on my computer. I posted a video on TikTok. Let's see, when did I post it? I posted that video about maybe 30, 45 minutes ago, and that video is now being pushed through the FYP right now. And right now it has 500 views on it. But I guarantee you in the next day, that video is going to get a crazy boost. Also, something really cool I'm seeing right now is I can see myself live on my desktop. That's a whole nother conversation for another day, but that's a really cool feature. I didn't know that was there. But we'll talk about that in another TikTok video, okay? But I guarantee you, I'm going to find myself getting more followers because of going live, and that video that gets the boost is going to help me to get more followers as well, okay? So I know we talked about a lot of things about getting to 10,000 followers in 90 days. Honestly, you could probably do this in 30 days. If you do all of what I'm saying, you could do this in 30 days. It doesn't take 3 months, okay? We had one client, she gained, what was it, her numbers? It was 50,000 followers in 24 hours. Another one gained 80,000 followers in 3 days. Another one gained 14,000 in 3 days. I gained 10,000 in 2 hours. And it's just, and this following this strategic path of being able to do so. So it's just, don't just create content just to create when you know that you have an intention, okay? Now, also, if you're someone and you're saying, okay, listen, I want more, I want to know more about this to be able to sell my services, market my products and services on Instagram Reels and on TikTok. You know, I am hosting a 3-day Instagram Reels and TikTok challenge on Monday, March the 18th. And I'm going to be teaching live for 3 straight days, teaching you how to make content so you can sell your products and services and increase the amount of money you're making in your business. This challenge is literally $27. So it's basically $9 an hour. And you get to spend an entire hour with me and hundreds of people as I'm teaching how to use Instagram Reels and TikTok for your business. All you have to do is go to KiaKelly.com/challenge. There is a link here in the description on YouTube and in the show notes here on the podcast, but also if you're watching anywhere else, there's a link in my bio and you'll be able to opt in there. But listen, like every single time we host this challenge, people have the incredible results. What was it? Mercedes made $20,000 in 7 days. Octavia made $5,000 in 2 days. And it's just people just had crazy success because of this challenge. And so there's a link down below if you want to join us inside this challenge. Again, it's only $27. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed today's podcast episode. I hope you enjoyed me here on YouTube, and thank you so much for listening and watching. Thanks for listening to the Kia Kelly podcast. I'm always honored and thankful each time you choose to download and listen to an episode of this podcast, but also when you choose to share it with a friend. Because one of the things that I know is that when I was building my business, it was so important for me to be surrounded by like-minded people. And so when you choose to share our content with your friends, it allows them to be in our space as well, where we can nurture and mentor them as well. And we can just make some new friends. So if you wouldn't mind sharing, I would appreciate it so very much. But in addition to that, if you would do us a huge favor by writing a review and giving us 5 stars, it's going to tell Spotify, iTunes, and all the places that people are enjoying this podcast and that they should share it with more people. And so please share, please write a review, and thank you so much for listening.